Play-by-Play Podcast, Episode 2, Season 2. We're back. What's been another big weekend of rugby. Jordan Hughes with you alongside me. A couple of superstars in the Australian rugby game. Tyler Campbell, Ian Stowers. Boys, welcome back.
Good to be back. Back-to-back weeks, and excited to keep moving forward.
I had plenty of positive feedback about your contributions last week, mate. How are we?
Yeah, no, good.
Out of the sling, I see?
Yeah, out of the sling. Got a bit of running yesterday. I don't know if you could call it running, more like hobbling around. Yeah.
Tried to do a push-up.
Tried to do a push-up and get very far. But yeah.
Were you on target for round one? Are we still...
Not too sure. Go back to the surgeon in 2 weeks, find out if we need to operate or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Oh, fingers crossed.
It'll be sweet.
Dodgy stuff.
Yeah.
Getting in the rehab, though, would feel good in the morning. So.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
You're a new man now,
Little
mate.
plug.
Boys down there, yeah. Little plug for feel good.
Apologies, boys. I may have slipped in.
Love that. Alrighty, so if you are new here, where to find us, obviously Instagram and TikTok on the Media Vintage Sports Network is under that banner. The podcast on Apple Podcasts under Play by Play. So keep joining us every week. And of course, looking for some sponsors, boys. So any businesses out there that want to sponsor us, sponsor the pod, fucking get around it. We'll
Talk to my boss, He'd be happy, with the 4 weeks off. He was definitely sponsor us.
Yeah, there you go. Lovely. All right, let's get into it. It's been a massive weekend of rugby. Six Nations, week one. We'll start with the recap there, boys. The big game, France versus Ireland. Ireland 38 points to 17. We all said the French would be too good. How wrong were we?
Yeah, obviously the cards didn't help, but probably justified under the rule book, both those cards. So obviously doesn't help playing with 14 men, and full credit to sort of the French staying in that game. But I think anyone that sort of played footy and played down a man, you can sort of trot along and stay in the game, but it does take its sort of toll on your body and you start to get a bit tired. And I think we saw that in the back end of the game, and Ireland were just too classy. And I think it was a big performance from their young 10. I thought he sort of stepped into that Sexton role, and I've saw comparisons about it's going to be like Tom Brady when he left the Patriots. But no, this kid stepped up and he sort of directed them around the field, and he sort of really took charge of that game, and I think that sort of helped Ireland on their way to victory. And then Bundy Aki was phenomenal again.
Beast. Because it was 17-10 at one stage, it was Ireland's first win in France since 2018. They were missing Dupont, I thought. What did you make of it, Ray?
Yeah, I think the scoreline doesn't really reflect what sort of game it was. Like Tyler said, being down 14 men for 80 minutes, it's a tough feat to get a win in those circumstances. But I think that yellow as well, the first yellow, he was pretty lucky. Other years you're going for a red for that,
True, yeah.
Heavy contact on the head. But then, I think that in those early minutes you could see it was going to be an unreal game. But, cards come in and that's what happens.
So the Irish definitely the favourites now heading into it, this week's matchup. Game number 2, Scotland versus Wales, 27-26. The Scottish just getting it done. It was 27-0 at one stage, 20-0 at half-time. They had to lead, and they came crawling back, the Welsh.
Yeah, typical sort of Warren Gatland Welsh performance, and that first half was just a Finn Russell masterclass for Scotland. You saw the 50-22, you saw, I think it was 3 try assists.
Exactly what I had here. Finn Russell masterclass. First note.
Literally, even that try he sets up just after halftime, he really had that game on his fingertips. But then in typical sort of Welsh fashion, when they're under Warren Gatland, they just keep clawing away. They go into their processes, their forwards really come into the game. We saw the rolling maul, and they just built momentum. And I think Scotland was sort of lucky to get away with it. And what I did like, though, was Scotland sort of still trying to score at the end. And then the guy we brought up, obviously their big South African winger we brought up last week.
Van der Merwe.
I'm going to learn that.
He's a beast,
He had a game.
I know they were on the back of Finn Russell's sort of brilliance, but he's a finisher. He's a big body, he's strong, and he was pretty unlucky not to get that hat-trick at the end. That was really close.
Still had heaps of work to do, though, on
that one off the kick return.
Yeah, when Finn Russell just
swing
gets
it
around.
Class.
He's a world-class winger at the moment, and I think as he sort of, as Scotland continue to grow, I think he's going to be more of a household name. And I think, the Scottish are looking good, and I could see them going towards an upset later on in the tournament.
Scotland's first win in Cardiff in 22 years as well, so massive occasion for them. Those 2 yellow cards obviously gave the Welsh a chance.
Definitely, again, scoreboard doesn't probably reflect what the game was. Those cards come in and then the game flips upside down. Wales with a set piece like that, you can't verse them with 14 men.
No. I was spewing too. I obviously had the Scottish minus the 4.5. Oh, yeah, sweet. All goods here, and then, no good.
Wanted that last try.
I know, I was spewing. So it's a big win for the Scots. They held on. And then England versus Italy, a bit of a scare in Rome, 27-24. Italy, I wish they got it done, but just falling short.
I think they were doing everything they could to make, running rugby, exciting rugby, and then England doing what they do best, slow down, kick for goals. What was it? I'm pretty sure Italy 3 tries to England 2, and England still come away with the win, just, clinical with their kicking, I guess.
George Ford.
You just, I hate to say, you got to give England their credit. Like, yes, they're not the most exciting team, but they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
And you saw them make a semi-final World Cup and almost tip the eventual world champions if it wasn't for a Pollard penalty. Like, they're just so good at sort of manipulating that clock and holding on to the ball, building phases, get the penalty, kick the 3, get the penalty, kick the 3, back their set piece, and that's sort of what it came down to. And the good thing, I think, is sort of seeing that improvement from Italy that we kind of questioned, would it now start to happen? And we saw them, they came out firing. They scored some unreal tries in that sort of first half.
Surprising.
It was good footy. I enjoyed it. And that would have been a hostile crowd in Rome too. Like, it would have been a tough place to win.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen them get that result because I do think they were sort of the better team. It's just England doing what England does well and sort of grafting out those wins in the tough situations. And I think we'll probably see a different English side with Marcus Smith coming back in.
Yeah.
Because I do think they did look disjointed in particular.
Did he get named as 10, Marcus?
Oh, I haven't actually looked at the teams.
I don't know if he is. I think it's still Ford.
Ugh.
So
won't be watching that game then.
Which could be a different sort of thing. It's Ford again. Smith's not there.
Still not even
still
on the
no
bench.
good.
Nah.
Is he injured?
He's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wild. Monty Ioane was good, I thought, on the wing.
It was great individual effort for that try.
Yeah,
back
what a finish.
He's over. Do you ever play with him, any boys?
Because
I think he's maybe my age.
I played against him when he was playing for Bay of Plenty when I was over at Waikato.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually have much to do with him over here. But we have played against his brother. His brother's run around for Sunnybank a few times. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Who's
right.
that?
What's his first name? I don't have to think about that. I can't think of his name now.
Italy plus the 15.5 was a good cash as well if you followed that one from the boys. But so that's sort of week 1 of the Six Nations, and I'm so glad rugby's back. It's going to be a juicy week 2, which we'll get into a bit later. But on this side of the pond, Super Rugby trial matches got underway on the weekend. We'll start with, I guess, the New Zealand team, the Crusaders over in Ireland against Munster, 21-19, falling short. Had that kick on full time to level it. Couldn't do so, but did you see much of that?
Yeah, I went back, watched a couple of the highlights, and just watching those highlights, Fiaki was killing it. Like, the Crusaders looked like they were shut down almost in all instances when the highlight would come through. But Fiaki, individual brilliance, gets to McLeod, and then, McLeod's try was unreal.
Yeah, they'll be sharp again.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying that we are sort of spreading the rugby around the world, and you get to see Munster versus Crusaders. Like, I don't know if we've actually ever seen something like that before.
Because Munster won the United Rugby Championship.
Yeah,
so
they're
like
a top team,
champs versus champs. So
they were good as well. They looked good.
My only knock to it, obviously, is the Six Nations is on, so all the internationals are out.
Yeah.
Not many of, actually, I think Dallas McLeod might have been the only All Black that was sort of running around for that Saders side. And
Bauer,
yeah, like Bauer coming off his injury. And like, I would like to see us have those games, but at a point where both teams are sort of around the same thing. Like, obviously, Munster's been playing. In saying that, Munster, I think, has 19 players on their sort of injured/international duties. Like, it'd be good to see the best of Super Rugby go up against the best of that comp and sort of get us adjusted, and it sort of gets the fans around it. And, you know, we've got the World Cup every 4 years, but
sort of thing.
The more we can get sort of world rugby all investing in something.
Yeah, you know they have the European Champions Club comp. We're doing that with us and the Crusaders and Super Rugby team. That'd be fucking good to watch.
Yeah, oath.
It's just a scheduling thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Scheduling and obviously different points of the season. Like Crusaders, they started in December. They're now 2 months into their pre-season. Munster's already halfway through their actual season. So, yeah, it would be good to sort of, if they could find a way on World Rugby for that to work. But
it's going to be even harder now with the focus on international rugby.
True.
Yeah, so we'll see how we go with that. And then obviously the cross-border challenge, the Blues and the Chiefs over in Japan. Blues dominant over Suntory, 43-7. Panasonic, 38-14 over the Chiefs. I thought Styler.
Mate, Panasonic were good. Like, I got to give all credit to Panasonic. Robbie Deans, they were well coached. They shut
look
down.
so good. Their structure.
I can do Riley's carving up
Yeah.
this
Mate.
thing.
Player of the match for me was the XG, Flocky Boucher. Like, he was one that sort of, when he left New Zealand rugby, was sort of at the peak and everyone was going, he should be an All Black. Like, his pill for work, like his ability to get on the ball and steal the ball is world class and possibly the best in the world. But it sort of sucks we don't get to see him on a international stage because he was so dominant in that game. And I think going up against his old sort of team, I think maybe lifted him a bit and he played even harder. But that's a quality Panasonic team when you go through and see the names that are in there. Obviously, Benny Gunter and Dill Riley. Like,
Yep.
then you've got Lockie Bashir, Corabetti, Vince Ussell. Like, there's so many good players
Yeah, jeez.
floating around that team, and you're watching it going, wow. And then, yeah, full credit to Panasonic. They were just the better team on the day and sort of kept to their structure. And then, again, obviously Chiefs first hit out, and they've gone up against a sort of classy team that's sort of halfway through their season. So, you know, can't take much from preseason. That's sort of my big thing.
Yeah,
Of course.
But, yeah, I've got to give Panasonic the win there. They did really well.
You know what I found sort of funny? Like, Crusaders over in Ireland, the Blues, they're playing in Japan, you know, travelling on their preseason tours.
Yeah.
The Aussie teams are playing each other.
Well, Aussie teams did it last year.
Did the
Yeah, they went to
cross-border?
Japan. Yeah.
They went to Japan, so the Reds went and played
Did they?
Panasonic.
This time of year?
No,
Sure.
it would have been.
It was end of the year though, wasn't it?
It was end of the year, so it would have been end of
Joey and
2022.
stuff played.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and then the Tars went. I don't know if the Tars went, but the Rebels definitely went, and the Force went.
Yeah, right. Okay. Sorry.
So they're trying to do it.
Yeah,
I
right.
reckon it was so good watching the games in Japan. The crowds every
Yeah.
single time someone gets like ankle broken or
Yeah.
a massive hit, you oh. And even the commentators, like they really get
so
into
into it.
Yeah,
It's
so
so good.
into it. It's exciting. It makes the game like
Like an anime narration.
yeah hard.
Oh,
Oh, you'll have to go see a game live over there. It'd be
Oh,
so
it
good.
would be so good.
All right, we'll still touch on the Aussie teams. Briefly run through it. The Rebels 38 over the Tars 12, just spanked them. The Rebels could be the real deal this year. Like, on paper, they look good.
Yeah.
oh, on paper they're probably the best Australian side if you go player for player.
Yeah.
How much?
Just don't look at their books.
Yeah, don't look at their books like
Yeah.
that. That for me is going to be their big thing. Are they going to come in? All right, this could be our last year.
I reckon it
Let's
will be. I reckon they're going to be gone.
Go and have
You
a
reckon?
Yeah, I reckon
yeah,
Rugby Australia's going to prop them up this
They're
year.
that bad.
They're like 20 million in the hole.
like they got. And I don't know, unless you can get someone investing in it, it's pretty hard to sort of keep them
Surely
around.
if they win the comp,
Yeah,
maybe they'll get
that's
an
the chat.
investor
Like, if they
out.
win it, can they stay?
Do you reckon that's what they're saying?
Yeah, and
we
that,
gotta win.
that's sort of
God.
my that's sort of my thing. I'm thinking they might come out firing this year because they
Yeah.
know they need to perform in
Yeah.
order to sort of keep themselves in the comp. And
They got a nice kid as well. I don't want to see them go.
Yeah, it is sad, but
Good kid.
good kid. Oh, we'll stay now. All good. Just wipe away the 20 mil. No
Yeah.
worries.
but it was good to see the Brumbies come out and because there was rumours of them
Yeah,
possibly being in the same situation, but seeing their CEO come out and said no, we're not going in.
we're good.
We're good. So
Well, you mentioned it. Brumbies 43 over the Drua 40, 83 points scored.
That game was so electric.
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights. Man, it's cool. Eh?
How are the skills of Fijians? Oh, that reminds me that we didn't touch on it. That Blues try,
Which one?
long ball, flick pass, tip on.
Oh,
yes. yes,
that
yes.
was
Yeah.
unreal.
Filthy.
Yeah.
that was actually ridiculous.
Yeah, and then you go back and then you watch Fiji and they doing it every single play.
And this is February too. Like they only started playing
yeah,
footy.
exactly. The skills are still world class, eh?
Yeah, I was
Haven't dropped
impressed.
at all.
I hope the Drua can really push on again this year.
Same.
yeah, I think they're definitely going to be a finals team again.
Yeah.
So
I
just
reckon that would be stronger than last year.
yeah, and I
Coming off that World Cup as well.
They haven't got as many like household names this year. I looked at their squad.
Yeah, but
they did have a
But
big
Fijian
turnover.
talent.
they just make like they just become names.
Yeah,
Like someone
facts.
would just randomly come in there and then they'll be like, "Holy shit, this is the best winger in the comp."
I saw what's his first? Simon Vodre Bonfeld.
Yeah,
Tui?
yeah.
Tui, yeah, he was playing and
Oh
he's,
yeah. How's that new winger? The one that scored that unreal try. Scored
Who's
a couple
that
of
guy?
them.
Yeah, young
I have
fella?
no idea. See, and then
yeah,
he'll
true.
best winger in Super Rugby midway through the season.
Athletes.
Yeah,
Athletes.
yeah.
They are. I hope we get some of those boys back this year. That'd be nice.
Yeah, Ando.
Yeah, get some.
Do you
Drua.
still have that Fijian connection?
Yeah, we might lose it now because we'll go to UQ with
yeah,
Follow
Fraser.
yeah, Fraser. Yeah. Fuck.
Damon's, I think, getting fluent in Fijian too. So
Oh jeez. This means nothing to anyone that doesn't understand QPR, but
Yeah.
you'll follow it, Anyway, a final game was the Force versus the Reg, which I had the privilege of calling, which was a good day at Ballymore. Busy there. The crowd was packed. The Force 21-19. Did we watch?
What did you think about it?
I thought the Force were surprisingly good.
Yeah.
The Reds went wide every play possible.
Oh, really?
At the back door.
Yeah, it looked like running rugby from the stuff that I saw.
It was. Clunky game, but yeah. Do you see it?
Yeah, I've sort of watched the whole game, and I really think the Reds need to move full time to Ballymore. I'd like to see them. Obviously, that fast stand that's on the TV needs to be.
It's annoying how they broadcast from the other side.
Yeah.
So all the comments, it's fucking empty. Well, it's not. It was just the wrong way. But.
Yeah, well, that stand is terrible on the far side. We've all been there. We've got the pool noodles over the thing. But if they can fix that stadium up, I think, it is the original home. Yeah, I just think Suncorp's too big.
Yeah,
and I think the way to sort of get a fan base back is if you can build an atmosphere in a smaller stadium, it sort of will help.
So
it grow.
I think that stand's like redundant now. Like it's so old. I don't think it's actually safe to have people in it because they're gonna knock it down and build it up for the Olympics.
I've seen plans for it, and I just think it'd be good. And obviously, I know parking and other things are a bit of an issue up there.
Yeah.
But I just think building that atmosphere, and you got the hill. We've had a few good sessions on the hill, and I think you get players coming in to watch the Reds, and you get all the club players parking up on the hill drinking beers. I think it can sort of help Queensland rugby grow if they move back there. But in terms of sort of the game, I thought Hunter Paisami for the Reds was outstanding.
Yeah.
And it's good to see him sort of get back in and after a sort of injury-riddled year and get that gain line, had some big carries, had some big tackles. And
he ran over the top of a few of the boys.
Yeah, but on the flip side, Hamish Stewart was also good in the 12 jersey for the Force. And I think, as I said before, you can't read too much into preseason because I think the Force sort of played as if they were trying to definitely win the game.
Yeah.
You obviously saw the penalties, stuff like that, whereas the Reds sort of played. It looked like they were trying things. Like we saw a couple of that same line-out move where they're running the.
Did you notice that at this guy at the back door every play? Like the forwards playing at the back to Lawson or Paisami?
Yeah, and so they've sort of made that change. I don't know if that was a plan, but obviously Harry's coming in because they probably did look a little bit better with him being a bit more direct and getting them over the gain line. But I thought the Reds probably should have won that game still.
Yeah.
Like there was that first 15-minute period where the Force were all over
Harry
him.
Potter.
He's
good.
I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you to call him a wizard.
No, I didn't want to do it. But every fucking comms guy is doing it. I'm not gonna go near it.
You gotta think of your own one.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the guy. Man, his whole life getting those puns. So I read it the other day. So he was born just a few months before the Harry Potter series started.
The movies though, they definitely knew about the book.
Yeah, true.
No, I don't think it was though.
What, the book wasn't before the movies?
The book would have been because he's my year. Isn't the book's like 96?
Yeah, true. So his parents knew. So
his parents stitched him up.
Yeah, imagine he's schooling.
Sorry, buddy.
Pretty funny. Yeah. Imagine how many times you would have called him a wizard at school.
Oh, Jesus.
But he was really good.
Very good.
Coming back from his sort of stint because he originally was Shoot Shield, wasn't he?
Sydney.
Yeah, and then he went overseas. Leicester, and he's come back.
I saw one of the comments and it was like, I don't know why Leicester let him go. He was so good for us.
But Leicester or Leinster? Which one?
He was the same one as
English one.
Lancaster was with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know that difference.
One's Irish, one's
the same thing.
English.
No, there's two. There's Leicester and Leinster. But yeah.
Well, you know.
In terms of, I thought like the Reds sort of showed some really good like parts throughout the game.
Yeah.
Obviously their set piece maul kind of let them down a couple of times. They had a penalty which they could have easily kicked for goal, but went for the corner. And we saw the one where Tonga didn't give it to halfback and he's gone out. We've seen the maul that's collapsed. Like
Name and shame.
There was a few things that sort of didn't go right, and I think if that was a proper game, the Reds probably come away with that.
Yeah.
But it was good to see them sort of chuck it around. But I think
3/3 too, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking long. It was so hard too because they had like 35 players each team, but didn't have numbers up to 30. So they'd go off and take the jersey off. I'm like, who the fuck's that? Change it. What do you make of? So what do you think of the 10? What are they going to do there? Crichton didn't really stand up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I know Harry's been named 10 this week in the sort of game in Roma for the against the Tars. So whether he sort of puts his hand up, but obviously O'Connor's still to come back. He's your safe option. He's done there. He's been there before. And Tommy Liner's back off the bench this week.
Yeah, I did see that.
So I think whoever puts their hand up is probably
They do have a lot of options.
They got a lot of options there, which is good.
And then you see Zane was stretching on the ground when
Oh yeah, I videoed it. I got it on video.
It was like live, and they're playing. He's just sitting there stretching. I'm like, what are you doing, Russ?
He reckons he got a corked quad. He's one. We'll give him his props. He actually played really
He
well.
played really well. Yeah,
I think he's sort of growing after his sort of experience in the World Cup, and we talked about the doco and seeing what like the effect sort of Eddie had on those players. I think he's one that's definitely growing after his time with Eddie.
Yeah,
like that was the most carries I think I've seen him have in one game compared to his whole career. So
he's busy.
He was busy, and it's good to see. And he scrummed really well. Like that red scrum was dominant for most of the game, and yeah, it's good to sort of see people stepping up. And the Reds, I think, will be better again this year. And I don't think they'll be fighting for that final spot. I think they might be sort of solidified in that sort of middle range, and you know, got a lot of experience in that type 5 that we talked about last week. So interesting to see how they go tomorrow.
Yes, the Reds versus Waratahs in Roma tomorrow. They'll be on Stan. Which will be a good one to watch as well. So we'll touch on the Wallabies. They've got 13 test matches this year. It's been announced. The Welsh are coming here for 3 matches. Georgia's playing Georgia in 2 games. Rugby Championship, Bledisloe, and then we end the year for Grand Slam Tour. First time in a while. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. So, yeah, massive year for Wallabies as well to try and turn the tide.
I think that's a really good schedule.
Yeah.
Like coming off a World Cup, you're not going up against, you're sort of, I know, everyone wants to see France and Ireland and whatnot, but them not coming here, playing someone like Wales, who's sort of in
We've got a good rivalry with them now. Like, he's really fiery.
Like I think like Joe Smith comes in, now he gets a chance to sort of develop players and introduce players to Test football. Because I think sometimes the hard thing for the Wallabies is they constantly play the All Blacks, they constantly play South Africa.
Yeah, 2 of the best in the world, and they're throwing in debutants.
You're throwing in debutants, you're throwing in players that are inexperienced, and they don't get that chance to sort of grow into the jersey.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing. Sort of the Wales, obviously the 2 tests against Georgia, you can
And
sort
Georgia's
of see.
no slouch these days.
Oh no, Georgia's still a good team.
Yeah.
But I just think, I think that's a really good schedule, and obviously looking forward, obviously the next year is the big year against the British and Irish Lions, and then into the World Cup. So I think this gives them a year to sort of build and get some combinations going and sort of work out what I think we've talked about it before, what their identity is going to be under the new coach.
Definitely got a lot of games to build into this upcoming World Cup. Yeah, it will be.
And on the Wallaby front as well, Rugby Australia had their annual awards night. Rob Valentini taking home the John Neals medal. Eva Kapani, the Wallaroo of the year. Matty Levi and Henry Patterson, the men's and women's, the Sevens players of the year. What do we make of the night?
Can't argue with the Sevens, eh?
Yeah, I think
Both
the
of
Sevens
them
ones are bang on. Like Maddie's just set a record for most tries in a season on the circuit, so I don't think anyone else sort of was in contention for that award.
Yeah, definitely. And then Patterson, even in the trainings, bro, he's
what's he like to train with?
The intensity, like he really holds the standards down there. Yeah, like he's real good.
And he's still young fellow, he's not.
Yeah, it's so competitive as well.
Really?
And I think that's what you have to have, especially in Sevens. You just got to have that competitive drive. If you don't have that, you'll just slack off.
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah.
Jake Upfield too. Try of the year.
Try of the year.
How funny is that? So
good to see 3 Bull Sharks getting the award.
Yeah, I was stoked. And,
bro, it was all him as well. Without him there.
What did he break, like 7 tackles to get there?
Yeah, 100%. It was unreal. Just fending them left, right, and
what a
center.
moment for him to go there and get that.
He's got spiders on him.
Bro, they flew him down and put him in a hotel and everything.
Yeah, he's a fucking weapon. Love that guy. Is he playing this year for us?
Yeah, he is. He's just had cortisones in his ankles, so he's just chilling at the moment.
He's back. Obviously Eva Kapani, she is unbelievable. So that was an easy choice, I thought.
And I really liked her comments around the changing the sort of stereotype of a tight head prop too, because she's so skilled and she was a massive asset for sort of Bond last year, who in history had sort of struggled for props in that sort of women's game. She's come in and sort of fixed up their scrum, but she also offers that sort of expansive style of play that our women's team likes to play, and she's got really, really good feet.
Yeah.
Like for a tight head prop, the way she beats people, she can kick. Like
you put her at
she's
12,
a very skilled player.
And I think that's only really just built in recently in the men's game as well, with the props, with the skills that like to do everything. So like for the women's game to already start like going that way, I think that's a really good step.
Yeah, I was impressed. Hopefully Eva comes back, plays for us again.
Something says she'd be might be away off the Wallaroos.
Yeah, right. We'll see how we
Possibly,
go.
I don't know, but
yeah.
New coach.
Yep.
It's true, she might get picked. Rob Valentini, the workhorse, the big boy, he got it done. I thought Angus Bell might have pushed him. I'm sure he
Yeah,
did.
I was thinking so as well. Also, Marika Korobetti, you can never rule him out because he's just so good.
He won the last 3 in a row. hasn't he?
Well, he just does so well. How can you?
I think Valentini deserves it.
Yeah, I think I
Like,
was sad with it.
I think either all of them got that. You're probably not arguing it.
Yeah,
Obviously, Angus Bell was probably a breakout year for him.
yeah, 100%.
But I think Valentini's sort of been a sort of stable player in a team that's sort of been mixed around and
Yeah,
sort of thing. Whether he's at 6 or 8, he's doing what he does, and that's carry hard, tackle hard, and sort of helps them get their gain line. So I think he deserves the award, and I think moving forward, he's sort of now ready to sort of, I think, take another step in his career and under Joe Smith, maybe expand his game a little bit more and probably be better again.
I think he was sort of the only real punch that the Wallabies had in that back row because they went so small, and then they bring in Tom Hooper, who
True. Yeah, not that.
He's
punch.
I don't even know if he's a genuine 7.
He was playing 6, wasn't he?
He played 6 and 7. Like,
Oh yeah.
they sort of missed him. Like, that's what I mean. And that's what I'm saying. Valentine was the only one that
yeah,
it's probably one of the first names on the team sheet every week.
100%.
He's a weapon. All right, let's get into our Six Nations Week 2 preview. First up, Scotland versus France in Edinburgh. This is going to be just electric. Scotland obviously had that win last week. France hurting after a home loss. $2.50 Scotland, $1.50 favourites for the French. The line's 5.5. Where do we lean on this, fellas?
Can we go with a no card?
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. no cards for the game. I'm going to go with France will win.
They'll be fucking.
But then, I don't know, like Finn Russell, like we
Yeah.
saw what he can do single-handedly against
I know.
a team of 15, like, and they're playing at home. Still, I'm going to back the French.
Yeah.
Close game, though. 7 points in it.
Van der Merwe versus Penno, too. That matchup on the wing would be
Oh, geez.
pretty
Oh,
good.
that's going to be electric.
Yeah.
Look, I'm probably leaning towards the French as well.
Yeah.
I think Scotland has it in them. It's just whether they can sort of be consistent for that 80 minutes. Like, we saw 45 minutes of sort of their best rugby on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's whether they can sort of take that to the next step and play 60, 70, preferably 80 minutes at that sort of level. Because I think if you give the French 20 minutes, they can turn it on and reset it. Obviously, cards are such a big impact. Who can stay the most disciplined? But yeah, I'm probably looking at the French there to sort of get the win, and I think they'll be hurting after last week, and I think they want to prove to themselves they can win without the point.
Yeah, Tupelotu versus Dante too. That 12 matchup will be quite good to watch, I think. Just be different. I'm going to go back to Scots. Back to Scotland to get it done.
Back the Scots, I like it.
plus-
In Edinburgh.
Yeah, at home. +5. I'll take them +5.5 and then maybe something on the money line as well. So yeah, we'll see how we go there. And then next up, England versus Wales. A fierce rivalry, these two. The line's 11.5, which I found quite surprising. England $1.16 favourites. Wales $4.80. It is in Twickenham. The English with an unchanged lineup. George North returns for the Welsh.
Ooh.
Yeah, plenty on.
Yeah, he might bring a bit of punch to their back line, eh?
Yeah.
Like we saw their set piece was on fire. It'll be good to see what their backs can do, with a...
New 10 though this week.
New 10?
Lloyd at 10. Don't know who that is, but
I'm going England.
Yeah, I think at Twickenham it's hard to sort of look past England.
yeah.
Solely because they've got a good record there and they always do really well. But I think the thing Wales have sort of going in their favour is they probably have the defence and sort of set piece to match English's sort of slow style of footy. Like, it could be one of the most boringest games we watch. But I think Wales will stay in it, and obviously said new 10, so hopefully his goal-kicking shoes are on,
Yeah.
because I think that's going to be sort of the battle we're looking at for penalties and whatnot. But George North coming in, as Rian said, gives them punch, and I'd love to see the sort of Welsh get up. I think they can take a lot of confidence in the game from their last 30 minutes
'Cause it's
on the
against
weekend.
England, eh?
Pardon?
'Cause it's against England.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nah, but they get a lot of confidence sort of out of that. Yeah, they didn't win against Scotland, but it shows them that they can sort of play passages of rugby where they're a dominant side, because they are a very young team, and I think Gatlin will have them fired up going into this week. But I still think England sort of gets it done just solely because it's at Twickenham, and that's where they thrive.
Yeah, Wales hasn't beaten England in Twickenham since 2015. But yeah, to England to win. But we'll take Wales plus 11.5. I think we're close.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's a ridiculous line.
yeah.
I'm still really surprised. But yeah, I'll hammer that. And then finally, Ireland versus Italy. Haven't got team list for this yet, but Italy's $15 outside. The line's 34.5. Ireland keep it rolling here.
Yeah. I think so.
Where is it? Not.
It's in Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland keep it rolling here. Don't know about the line. I think Italy is improving, but
Yeah, what is the line?
34 and
34 and a half.
Holy.
So
Yeah.
it's 35-0 before the whistle even
Yeah,
blows.
yeah.
And I think it also depends. Obviously, the teams aren't named. Do the Irish start to rest a couple of people? Because that was a physical game they played in last week. And sort of Six Nations, you have to perform every week, but you also want to keep people fresh. So seeing what they do with their team will obviously sort of dictate how that line looks. But the Irish probably get the win. I'm going to say at least 20 plus.
I think
but
it'll be
it's close.
entertaining though. I
Yeah.
reckon it'll be real entertaining the way both of those teams like to play.
Prediction is it's close early and then the Irish sort of blow it out the back end.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. So all on the Irish to win there. So there's week 2 in the books. Before we head to, I guess, a bit of Super Bowl chat and then we'll wrap it up. Joey Manu, coming across. What thoughts on that?
Hopefully he goes to the Hurricanes.
He's going the other way. He's going the French.
He's going to French, chasing the
He's chasing the dollar.
coin.
I mean, good on him.
I don't blame him, yeah.
Yeah, good on him.
And that's the thing, sort of, like I'm
Get
not
your money
comparing
up, son.
rugby union and league here, but there's obviously a lot more money overseas in union. And what is he, 27, 28?
Oh, he's even younger than that, isn't he?
I think he's pretty young.
Yeah.
He's had an unreal career already in the NRL.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
going to lose Manu and Sully.
What posse do you reckon he's going? Joey Manu.
I think he's built to be sort of that rangy 13,
Yeah.
sort
I
of
reckon,
13
yeah,
wing.
yeah, 13.
I wouldn't move him into 12. I would love to have seen him go back to NZ footy.
Because I'm assuming he's played rugby growing up, being a Kiwi. My guess, do you know?
He's from Tokoroa, so I'm assuming,
It's in the blood somewhere.
yeah, he's played a bit of union growing up, but there's also a lot of league down there too.
Yeah.
I think his footwork and his sort of abilities sort of get on the outside of players sort of suits that 13 role.
Yeah.
The only thing is he probably doesn't have the best of tendencies to sort of let the ball go and
That's
set
what I
up
was
your
going to say.
outside
If he
game.
did like his ball playing, I'd like to see him at 15. Because we know he's good in the air. We know that he can kick. Because he's played in the halves.
Yeah, so
True.
he's got a very good skill set.
Yeah. He'll definitely thrive in rugby.
Yeah.
I just think we don't want to see what happened with sort of Tuivasa-Sheck. Like for me, New Zealand playing him at 12 wasn't his best sort of position on a union field. Like if he was on the wing, he could have put his hand up a bit, but we were lacking depth in the midfield, so they sort of shoved him into 12, and it's obviously adapting to the game and whatnot. So I'd like to see him do well, and I'd prefer he was sort of goes on the Sonny Bill route.
Yeah, I think it's
Goes in-
good that he goes to France first.
Goes to French, plays, learns, and they obviously love big centres in France.
Yeah, learn the game, get some cash.
And then he comes back and tries to crack the All Blacks
Plays
before the
for
next World Cup.
Hurricanes and,
That's
he wins.
I mean, took it all. He's probably a Chiefs fan, so
the district's kind of me.
Yes, so that's going to be all on. So now that sort of wraps up the rugby portion of the potty. Of course, Super Bowl on Monday. We'll talk about it. All fans of the NFL. The Chiefs up against the 49ers. The Chiefs are underdogs, $2.05. 49ers $1.80. The over-under is 47.5. What do you think, boys? Tough.
what's the odds for Travis Kelce to propose to Taylor Swift?
So that was my next one. There's so many.
Surely, nah, that will not happen.
Have you-
It's a bet. There's
There's
actually a
so-
bet for
there's
it.
a
It
full
won't happen.
market.
They've only just started
Yeah,
dating
nah.
mid-year.
Yeah, they're celebrities, mate. Sometimes they get married after a month.
The over-under is 5.5 on how many times she gets shown on the broadcast. I'm hammering that.
Oh,
Isn't she here at the moment?
She's in Tokyo.
Tokyo, and then she's flying over.
When?
They've crunched the numbers, mate.
As soon as she
Oh,
finished, she's
yeah.
got a
Yeah, I'm sure they would have figured it
Yeah,
out.
she's going to arrive at 1
Private
p.m.
jet.
in Vegas
Yeah.
on Sunday, ready to go.
Did you see there was like a thing coming out with her flight schedule at the moment that she's
People are psycho.
like her flight schedule's like 30% of the carbon pollution or something going.
Oh, shit.
It's ridiculous because she's flying every week like
Nah,
across
that's
the
a
world.
fake stat.
I seen it. I
There's
couldn't
so
stop
many
laughing.
people-
Sorry for the
that-
misinformation
Yeah,
for
yeah.
anyone listening
This
to
program is not about misinformation.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Mate, I'm just reading Instagram.
I think she's getting a bad rap. I really like people like hating on Taylor Swift and stuff. I reckon it's good.
Oh,
You hate it?
Yeah.
I like it, eh?
I'm not a fan.
me
Oh,
as-
really?
I think it's that whole like her, Brittany Mahomes, Jackson Mahomes,
No,
and
Brittany Mahomes sucks, but
yeah, I think that's probably why.
It's
Because
just
they're hanging out.
She's just
I'm
come into that. Like,
just come into
mate,
that
it's
group.
love, Rian.
No.
Like I don't want to hear like Brittany Mahomes going, "We won, we did that, and I'm going, "You're just up in the box." Like
Stop it, mate.
Okay, let's actually talk about the game.
Okay,
now.
sorry.
Let's talk about
Yeah,
the game.
we're part of the problem. We're part of the problem. Alrighty, boys. Yeah, what do you reckon? Give me a preview there and your picks. Rick.
I think. I'm thinking that 49ers win just way too much star power, but both receivers like top tier. Christian McCaffrey at running back. Debo can also just come in and just run whenever he wants.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, it's really all in his hands because the defensive line handles himself, and on attack they have so many weapons. It's just whether you can find them. But then also on the other side, you got Patrick Mahomes who can just pull something out of nothing, and he tends to a lot in finals.
Yeah.
And
so
then Travis Kelce, the GOAT.
is the man. I love
The
it.
GOAT tight end.
Yeah. So what are you doing? Give me a.
It's a big call.
He is. He's better than Rob.
Best receiver.
Yeah.
Where's your money going? Sours?
Should we actually put money on it?
Sure.
50.
Sure.
50.
Quick pineapple. We'll go 49ers.
To win. All right.
Yeah.
MVP?
MVP. CMC, baby.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah, I'm with Ree.
Taylor Swift.
yeah.
Taylor Swift, NFL MVP, because she's probably getting the most money at the moment.
She's the best.
No, I don't think the 49ers have been consistently great throughout this sort of playoffs. But I think the key there is sort of the injury to Debo.
Who did they almost lose to?
They almost lost to the Packers. They came back from
Yeah,
24
they were
down.
average
I was
mid-season.
watching that first half. And I was like, there is no way.
Yeah.
I sent it to Ronan. He's like, yeah, boy. Sent it to Nixon. He's like, oh no.
He's
and
a
then
49ers guy.
at the end of the game, Nixon, yeah, boy. At the end of the game, Ronan, what the hell just happened?
But that's the thing. They've sort of grinded into 2 wins now and come back. And I think the injury to Debo kind of stumped their sort of attack a little bit. Him having another 2 weeks off. I know he played in that Lions game. 2 weeks to sort of freshen up that ankle, I think helps them a lot. Because I think he's still one of their key men. And it's sort of, I don't know how you defend when you got Ayuk, Kittle, Debo, CMC.
yeah, I
like,
didn't even touch on Kittle.
like those four,
Yeah.
like 4 guys. And obviously Brock Purdy's probably, I don't even know if he's underrated or overrated now because people swing either way.
Can't
And
tell,
just,
eh?
He's been confident. I
Like,
reckon.
he- yeah.
he does.
the way he
kinda.
dresses,
Yeah,
like,
everything. He's
leave the
giving
guy
it for
alone.
everything.
he's a good
So-
dude.
and like the poor guy, like he's on 870K
Yeah.
and he's in a Super Bowl. And I just think he's sort of, I think he'd be the best, obviously, last pick. And
Who
if
was
I'd
it
be
that
good.
was saying he's the 10th first player. Oh, Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He's the 10th first player in the team. And then Brock Purdy goes and says, oh, well, there's all these NFL teams and you're not even a quarterback.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
I like him. And I just think the San Fran's D, 2 weeks to prep for the Chiefs. I think everything sort of suits him. And it sort of reminds me of that Tampa Bay game. Obviously, when with the Chiefs, I just don't think they have the receivers anymore. Like
Okay.
you've got Kelsey.
and
And
then
I'm
all
sure they'll-
Butterfingers.
Yeah, they'll sort of strategize a way to sort of negate as much as you can. Like he's going to get his numbers because he's just, you can't always stop greatness. But
Yeah.
I just think obviously with the receivers that they have,
So
I
San
know.
Fran win.
San Fran win. and
MVP.
MVP. It's going to be sort of, I reckon, CMC, but I wouldn't mind seeing a defensive player like a Joey Bosa step up or a Fred Warner.
Yeah, lovely. Okay. The Chiefs getting points in the Super Bowl, underdog. Hammer the Chiefs. I'm off Patty Mahomes. Get
Ooh.
it done. Back to back, baby.
You're one of those bandwagoners.
Well,
Patty Mahomes MVP then, I'm guessing.
nah, I go T Kelsey, and then he can, go kiss
Propose.
his love his life, mate.
See what Taylor Swift's favourite
Beautiful.
number is?
87.
13. Guess who wears 13?
Me?
Brock
Brock
Purdy.
Purdy. Boy.
Brock Purdy.
Yeah, right. And Chiefs 1 to 13, $2.90. Bit of value there if you like that. But yeah, I just can't bet against Patrick Mahomes in this.
What's the point? Like overs, unders on points?
It's 1.5 to spread, and 47.5 is.
Oh, definitely going over
It'll be
47 and
such a
half.
Do you
good
think it's a lot of
game.
points?
It's going to be a shootout, I reckon.
Yeah,
okay.
I reckon it'll be so good.
Giddy up.
Checo.
Yeah.
I reckon he's good for
He's-
a touchdown.
He is good for a touchdown.
Yeah.
He's the most aggressive runner.
Beats.
Yeah, bro.
He
Have you
looks like
seen
the-
those videos?
Yeah. He looks
He
like one of
looks
the
like
guys
those
you run
like
past.
Islanders when you're younger and you hear them go.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I reckon he definitely makes sound effects.
Yeah,
It works. It works. Yes, there we go. Super Bowl Monday morning here in Australia. Any other things you want to touch on, boys, before we sort of wrap up?
Thoughts on Nick Saban?
Yeah, good.
I like it. I think it's good
College
too.
game day analyst Nick Saban, big fan of that.
And then
there was always going to be a bit
Tom Brady stepping into the lead role.
in the booth. Yeah, he's they want a $380 million deal, whatever it is. He's going to get more money in the booth than he did ever playing.
That's
How crazy is that?
ridiculous.
What?
Did you not see that? Like,
No.
It's like, what is it? 10, not even 10.
10-year deal, 380.
That's what happens when you're grade A. You just get a job from sport and you just
100%.
keep like thirsting all those fellas.
Yeah,
You just
so-
keep working with the network.
But you obviously, like, the thing is, people have heard enough of him talk. When he actually talks football, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I reckon he's going to blow people's minds. He's
yeah,
really
100%.
Imagine being in his mind trying to explain it to the viewer.
He might not be the most exciting.
Mm.
Like, you know, you got your Peyton Manning, like your Manning podcasts and stuff like that. They're quite funny people.
But he's not there to be funny.
He's there to tell you what's
Is he
going on.
calling the games?
He's the chief
Lead.
analyst. Yeah.
So whenever they go to halftime, they go to him and he starts
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it. But if you've ever seen him do things like that before, it's
Well,
actually...
he's calling the game. He's in the
outrageous.
booth with Kevin Burkhardt. So, yeah, it's going to be good.
I hate how the games are all on at the same times. Like when you're watching it on Red Zone,
Yeah, it's hard.
and then it's like you
When you're
there's-
watching 4 screens and you're
yeah,
cross-eyed.
you don't really get to hear the breakdown because it's just like and touchdown,
Well, you can always watch the
touchdown,
individual games.
touchdown.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, but you don't want to miss the other things
Oh,
when you
okay.
got fantasy players on the line.
Yeah, true. Oh, yeah. Also, before we wrap up, the Bears. What are we doing with the pick? You trading
Trade it.
Fields? Or
Yeah, I think they're
Trade
getting rid of him, eh?
And
It
do-
looks like they're definitely getting rid of him.
you want
Taking
Caleb?
Williams, yeah. I think they will take Williams.
I
And I don't think he has a choice. As much as he was like...
I think
you
it,
know, didn't wanna
so. I'm
be
hearing
there.
that chat. I reckon that's not from him. I
Yeah.
don't reckon that's all bullshit.
I don't know. All
What
those
would you do?
sources are like...
Well, you
I'll
can't.
keep Fields. I think we should keep
You reckon
Fields.
you should give him?
Yes,
I'm on the
him
keep
and
Fields.
Moore are starting to...
He came better at the end of the year.
Yeah, he's starting to come better. And if we just keep working on the O-line...
But it's
the
a big-
defense is
But it's
pretty
a big
good
call
now.
though if you have a number 1 pick and you don't take it and then he shits the bed next year. Then what do? You're fucked.
The defense is coming good now. The O-line's finally coming good. Fields and DJ Moore are linking up. Cole Kmet's on a fucking
Get-
hot streak at the
trade
moment.
down to the 3rd pick and get Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
We've seen the value of a good receiver over the last couple. Look at the
Yeah, imagine that. Moore and Harrison.
look at Tyreek
You got a
Hill.
deep threat.
Tyreek Hill
Wow.
going to the Dolphins. How their sort of fortune
True.
switched around.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Jim Harbaugh going to the Chargers. Did you see that? Which is good. Michigan head coach.
Only thing though
Yeah,
with
yeah.
that,
Isn't it is.
only thing though with that, the wide receivers, like stacking your wide receivers, like you're not going to win a Super Bowl with that. Like you can
yeah.
see,
Mm.
even though the Dolphins were killing it at the start of the year, you're like when they versus a good team, they'll get found out.
Well, they
and
can't,
surely
they can't
enough,
play in the cold. So.
yeah.
Yeah, I think if that game's dry, they could have done a lot better against the Chiefs.
Final thought. I saw that in the headlines the other day. A billionaire is trying to do a steroid Olympics. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah,
Oh my
the
God,
Australian
that would
swimmer.
be so good. Someone
Did you
does
see
a
that this
stand
morning?
up about
Yeah.
it.
Hey.
Someone does a stand up about it. Like they'll
just
stand
let them
up
get
comedy.
jacked up
yeah.
and go.
Yeah. So you can
See what human potential really is.
you can get juiced up and go do
The
it.
the Australian swimmers already said yes.
Really?
Yeah, well,
No, he said that he will if he reckons he could beat anyone. Because like, you can't just get some random swimmer and juice them up and they'll be good. They've got to be at elite.
No, yeah,
They've
yeah.
got to be at the top of their field
Yeah,
already.
you got to already have someone that's great. Imagine
mean-
those records. How fast is 100 going to be?
a lot of those sprinters have
But
sort
like,
of already
They're
been on
already
it.
sort of, yeah. they're just dodging
There's
drug
no way
tests.
Usain Bolt was built like that off a diet of chicken nuggets. Like,
Mate, he was natural, mate. Come on.
Yeah, don't knock you.
But,
Usain
nah, to
Bolt.
be fair,
He's
but
a
a
goat.
freak athlete.
A mid-pack 100-meter runner on juice will still not beat Usain Bolt.
No,
No.
fuck
You
no.
got to be...
No.
Yeah.
And you have to train a ridiculous amount for any of those things to still take an effect.
you look at people that were racing Bolt at the time that were coming in 2nd and 3rd, and then they've all fallen off
Yeah.
and been done for the drug test. So
Yeah, so...
it shows you that that it doesn't actually work like that.
Yeah.
You got to still have the
We should know
genetics
better
and
than
skills.
anyone else living here on the Gold Coast. You see all these steroided up,
Talking to Burley.
but yeah, and what?
They can't move.
Yeah, they're just fucking nothing. What is it called? Road gut or some shit? When it,
Sounds like
starts
you
to
know.
Oh, yeah, you're telling the story, brother.
Yeah, I do know.
Clip that.
Yeah, you can't say that these
Clip
days.
that.
That shit. Alrighty, on that note, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. Start talking about a bit of Super Rugby previews as that sort
Keen.
of creeps up. And yeah, footy's getting away for these boys soon. So
Yep.
giddy up.
Oh, not for me.
No.
I'll be running circles.
You can help me with some media
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I'll come out.
Yeah, sweet.
I'll do all the recording.
Yeah, you love that. Alrighty, we'll catch you next week. Bye.
See you guys.
Let's get out of here.